the Alumni Association, right?
Yes.
How long have you been president?
That's a 2-year term, and so my term will end in June.
Okay.
So I'll be done. I actually been with the Alumni Association probably about 6 years or so. First off as just a member on the board, and then I was vice president for 2 years and then president.
Okay, so how'd you get involved with the Alumni Association?
You know, the way I got involved is being from Bossier City. I wanted to go to Baton Rouge to go to college, and my parents at the time, I was a wild 18-year-old, said, "Why don't you stay here for a year, and if all goes well, you can go to Baton Rouge." Well, I promptly failed out my first year, and finally got my act together and stayed here and met my future wife on campus. And she was an Air Force brat, and they got transferred to California. So I left this area, went to California, went to Pepperdine University and got a master's degree in clinical psych. And long story short, we decided to move back to the South as our kids were getting into school age. And when I got back here, I realized how important LSU-S had been to me in my professional development. First off, it was an extremely difficult school academically, but I was able to get through it. And when I went to Pepperdine, who is really kind of a prestigious university out on the West Coast, I realized how prepared I was from LSU-S, because graduate school was quite easier than LSU-S was. So I said, wow, I knew I had a good degree and I knew I was well prepared, but I really kind of felt the need to give back a little bit, if you will, to the university that had made me, at least in part, successful. So the first thing I did when I moved back was join the Alumni Association. And as I did and became more involved in what they had going on, I just kind of became more involved, and then I became an officer, and now we're here where we're at. So.
All right. So what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1991 with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. And I graduated Pepperdine Clinical Psychology in '94. And I've also done some adjunct instruction out at LSU-S as well, teaching Intro to Psych for incoming freshmen. I did that 3 or 4 times. I haven't in a couple years. There were budget cuts, and so they cut all the adjuncts, and so I hadn't been asked back.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Hitting the whole system.
Yeah.
We dealt with that ourselves.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the proposed merger?
I'm really, really suspicious, I guess is the word. This area really needs more by way of higher education. I mean, we don't have enough programs to fit our population. You look over in Monroe and in Ruston, very small communities, and they got 2 universities over there. We've got, probably 4 or 5 times their population, and really just 1 university. You also have Grambling over in the north and northeast part of the state. Here we just have LSU-S. Yes, we have Centenary, a private school, but there's never been enough programs offered up here. And so I'm talking master's and PhD programs. In order for someone like myself who has a master's degree in clinical psych to get a PhD, I'd have to go out of state or go to Baton Rouge, which at this point in my life, I've got a job and a family. I can't leave and go to Baton Rouge. As much as I love LSU and I'm a Tiger, bleed purple and gold, and would love to go there, I can't. And I can't go to Tech either. So there's a big need here, and that's what started all this. What can we do to get LSU-S the type of degree programs that are needed in our area? And so study after study has been done. Dr. Marsala has gone down to the powers that be, whether it be a Board of Regents and Board of Supervisors, and pleaded his case for more degree programs. And inevitably, they get roadblocked or they just don't happen. And so a group of people up here began to look at alternative ways to do this. Look, if these groups are not going to let this happen, what are our other alternatives? And so, a group was formed to say, how about merging Tech with LSU-S? And boom, 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 everything started happening. Like, okay, boom, it's on the agenda. Okay, it'll happen in a month. That doesn't sound right to me. With 20 years of trying to get programs through up here, and we've demonstrated need. You know, we've had studies that have been commissioned by the Board of Regents at their request with their private consultants that came up with this need a long time ago, but nothing seems to get done. And the fact that it's happening so quick now makes me a little nervous. You know, it just doesn't seem right. I mean, why all of a sudden does boom, it's done, and we just lose LSU-S, and now it's Tech Shreveport. You know, it's not that I'm against that. It's because I do want the programs here, but I'm also a loyal Louisiana State University. You know, I owe them a lot, and so when you know, if that's what would have to happen for it to happen, I guess I would support it. But I really don't think that, you know, is the truth. I think we can get these programs. It just is a matter of putting two and two together and the state letting it happen.
So do you think it's going to cause a problem with identity?
Absolutely. You think about a student that's graduating right now, you know, or let's say they graduated within the last 5 years, and, you know, they're 28 years old and they live in Connecticut and they're trying to get a job at whatever. And they put down on their CV, you know, hey, I graduated from LSU-Shreveport, magna cum laude, and they look up LSU-Shreveport, and there is no LSU-Shreveport. Oh, you went to that school? Well, that ain't even open anymore. That's scary. And I've heard that a lot from, you know, current students now and recent alumni. You know, what happens to our degree, the value of it? Because right now, I can tell you the value of an LSU-S degree is huge here. I mean, all of my employees here are LSU-S graduates in one form or another. And I've hired other former students from other universities, and the quality, you know, maybe it's coincidental, but hadn't been like the consistency that I get with LSU graduates. So, you know, we want to keep that intact. We want it to grow and not just be given away.
So do you think that's the only way to get a program? You're talking about getting the programs that you need up here?
No, I don't. I think Dr. Lombardi has come up with a commitment plan the last month or so that addresses these needs. And they're market-driven needs. You know, we need more healthcare workers up here. We need a doctorate in psychology program. We have the Haynesville Shale, which is a huge gas formation that they found underground here that's really increased the need for engineering, especially petroleum engineering in this area, natural gas resources. So when we can identify what the market needs and then have a program to support it, companies will come in and set up shop. But if we don't have young, you know, smart kids graduating with the degrees that they need, they're going to go somewhere else. You know, I think a great example is PreSonus Electronics in Baton Rouge. I mean, this guy goes to school in Baton Rouge in engineering, graduates, forms a company called PreSonus, which is huge, and stays in Baton Rouge, probably because of what they did for him. And now look what he's doing for the community there. They can't keep these mixers on. I mean, they're the hottest things out there. And I'm a musician, and I'm proud to say, wow, that's made in Baton Rouge, not in Silicon Valley, you know.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you play?
I play drums.
Same
and
here.
sing. Oh, really? Cool.
Same here. So how do you feel the LSU system could bring the programs in?
I think we have their attention now, because I think they need to say, hold on a second, what's going on here? We're going to lose something. And when Dr. Lombardi came up here about a month or two ago to talk with us, the LSU System Board came, and they were very, very supportive of keeping us intact and giving us what we need to grow and for this community. They're not the only decision makers, however. You know, we have a board of regents that we have to, you know, go to that has to get approval, and then we have a legislator and a governor. So I think if they can just provide the support, not only by saying it publicly, but by coming through and approving these programs, you know, that's all we really need. We're not costing extra money. You know, you have professors here that are, you know, world-renowned that are already teaching the classes. We're not asking for more money in a lot of senses. We're just saying, can we give this degree? You know, we're teaching the classes. Let's come up with a new curriculum, and that's all we're, you know, really needing in a lot of sense. So the Board of Supervisors, I think, it appears that this time is fully back in protecting this university and keeping it into their system.
Yeah, they seem to really oppose the idea of a merger with the.
They do.
system level.
And I do too. I mean, why? That's not needed. If you can get us what we need, which are the degree programs and the support for those, the students will come. I almost said patients will come because I'm in the healthcare field, but the students will come. And I can tell you this right now. You get a PhD or a PsyD program that they're looking at right now. I'm going to be in it if it's here, and I know a lot of people that will get in it. There's a need there. There may not be BIPSI has grown. Bossier Parish Community College has grown by leaps and bounds because they haven't had the roadblocks that we have in developing programs, and they serve a very important niche here. It's a 2-year school. A lot of kids can go over there and take their first 2 years, transfer everything over to here. But they're doing stuff that has to do with oil and gas. We have a large casino industry here now. We have 5 riverboats and about to have a 6th. That Jimmy Buffett's putting a casino up here. And so we got plenty of people that know how to make beds and cook food. We need technical degrees. We need professional degrees, and partnering with LSU Health Science Center, that's the way to do it. And being tagged in with the Baton Rouge flagship, and more, close relationship would help a lot, because you guys are already doing a lot of what we need, but we can't go to Baton Rouge. But we want to be part of that, Just as now, just a 3.5-hour drive, used to be 5, but still, there's no direct flight to Baton Rouge either, which is kind of a
There's
side.
no direct flight from.
Or to New Orleans. Got to go through Houston or Dallas.
That seems a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. You want to go buy a plane? I
Yeah.
think we could have it full.
So what is the Alumni Association doing? Are they opposed
You know,
to this as well?
We are. We just drafted a resolution that is similar to the Staff Senate and the faculty resolution that LSU-S has done. Basically saying, we're suspicious that this is happening so quick. I know there were studies done, but boom, that just doesn't sound right to me. It appears that, this was going on behind the scenes for a while. So that makes us a little nervous. And as a president of Alumni Association, I'm really representing, alumni. I have my own personal opinions, and I can share those with you. But these are also what I'm hearing from alumni. We're kind of, why is this happening? This seems a little peculiar. The politicians that drafted the merger aren't even from this area. They're from Ruston and Monroe and West Monroe. So, it just seems a little suspicious. We certainly want the programs, but we want to preserve our school. We don't want to give it away.